Hello there folks, it is TIJ Gaming and welcome to part 29 of our Snooker 19 pro career with Neil Robertson. And today is time for the start of the Welsh Open, and in the last 32 we are playing against Tom Ford, which funnily enough tomorrow in real life could well be, or is it? Is he still in? No, he's not. Tom Ford got knocked out by Graham Dott last night, but still, dear me, I forget what even happened yesterday, but Tom Ford did very well in the Coral World Grand Prix. Robbo could be in the final. So let's pretend I'm recording this on Friday afternoon and decide that this could be the final of the Coral World Grand Prix, which of course it's not going to be now, but hello there everyone and welcome to our last 32 match against Tom Ford. The last time we played against Tom Ford, the first and only time we played against Tom Ford was in the World Champs last year, in a best of 19, and we comprehensively beat him by 10 frames to 4, and hopefully in this last 32 of the Home Nation Series at the Welsh Open, fingers crossed it is a similar result to that today. Now, I've been putting the work in over the last few matches, I must admit, because things have been going a little bit awry. We have to admit, since we won the Masters, we've been a little bit sloppy. And I think it's fair to say that we've done very well in our first two qualified matches in kind of quotation marks. I like to call those first two rounds as a bit of a qualifier and a bit of time for me to get into things before we do the kind of televised rounds with the third round on the last 32. So in our first round, we beat Sanderson Lamb by 3 frames to 0. You can see a highest break of 99. It was really close to getting a century, but unfortunately we weren't quite there. But as you can see, Sanderson Lamb in the 3 frames only scored 43 points. And then we played against Lu Ning in the last 64, and we had 2 whopping breaks. I would be surprised this isn't the highest break of the tournament. We got a 140 break against Lu Ning, my highest break of all time on Snooker 19. We followed that up in the final frame with a break of 125. As you can see, it's 118. But going on to that last black, of course, it was 125. So 2 really strong matches there, and I do hope that we can continue that form into this game against Tom Ford. But shall we get into it? Let's do just that. We did get to the quarterfinals of this tournament last year, but went out to Jack Lazowski by 3 frames to 1. It was Joe Perry in the last 16, and it might have been somebody like Jimmy Robertson in the final 32. If you're interested, you can go on the channel and just search Welsh Open. It'll be in the description somewhere. But yeah, interesting match this will be against Tom Ford. Again, he's no slouch, I've just hinted at in real life. He did get to the final of the Coral World Grand Prix, which this week I have really enjoyed. If you guys have been watching the Grand Prix this week, of course, it must mean that you're watching this at normal time, not like 6 months later. But if you have been watching this week, please let me know down in the comments on what your thoughts of the tournament has been. But for today, we're not here to focus on the Grand Prix. Certainly not the Grand Prix in game, because we got slaughtered in the Grand Prix in game. But today we're going to focus on the Welsh Open and the third round of that and the last 32. So it's the best of 5 against Tom Ford for a place in the last 16. This is really a tournament, of course, that we need to do well in. We're in a bit of a Ronnie O'Sullivan situation here, in that we will get into the Players' Championship, which is the top 16, but unless we improve our game, we're not going to get into the Tour Championship, which includes all the top 8, because of course we're only 11th in the rankings now. We've managed to slump really poorly, and the 2 tournaments we've done well in this year, of course, have been invitational events, so we've had no chance to really earn any serious prize money. So players below us have just gone above us, and ultimately we are in quite a poor situation here. So a tournament win like this, a good tournament, we need a few good tournaments. We need a good tournament here. The shootout's a good chance as well. That's a nice amount to win in the kitty as well. Again, in real life, players are continuing to play in that now, because the obviously the Coral Cup, not the Coral Cup, but in terms of the yearly rankings, for seeding in the Coral events, you obviously need to have the most prize money possible, and that means, you know, playing in those events like the shootout, which weren't particularly prestigious events before, to earn all the prize money you can get, basically. But a good start on the red for us there. And it is great now, because I did hear Robbo himself saying the other day that, it wasn't such a long time ago that we only played 3 tournaments in 6 months, whereas now I think somebody put basically could be in 3 finals in the space of about 3 or 4 weeks or something like that, which, is great for Robbo, and hopefully we could continue that legacy for him in this sort of tournament. We've got a little bit of a problem here with this red, because this is actually, I've just completely missed the fact we could play a straight red there, so looking around the table has helped, but I'm going to be sure, I just want to check, but I'm fairly certain that we're not going to be on the black. Oh, we are. There's enough space there, I didn't realise that. So it's always worth a check. Always is worth a check, because again, you can fool yourself into thinking, no, you're not going to be on the black, or even worse, you can think you're going to be on the black, play the shot, and then of course, we've got into a little bit of a sticky situation because we can't get on the black. But I hope you guys are enjoying the series. Again, I'm really trying to make an effort with snooker now. I'm really enjoying recording snooker. The most I've enjoyed recording it for a long while, to be honest. And again, if you guys enjoyed, go on to leave a like, that'd be great. So obviously, likes, comments, all sorts of interaction on these ultimately lead to more people seeing the series that haven't watched before, and potentially more people joining the channel, more people subscribing. So if you are a long-term viewer or you're here for your first time, whoever you are, if you do go on to enjoy this, make sure you leave a like down below. Now, this is a tricky blue we're playing here. I'm fairly comfortable with it. We're just going to play off the bulk cushion, hopefully come back down for the red. Just a little bit worried about the blue when it comes back to its spot, but we're certainly not going to be snookered. It's a bit of a shot to nothing really, and we've misjudged that. Expected the cue ball to travel a lot more than that, but no, we're not actually. So I thought we were okay on this red, but we're certainly not. So that's the end of that little break, but again, 21 points on the board. Not going to moan at that. Again, it's not a fancy century break, but as I've said, just get points on the board here. Been a few days, of course, since I've played those first 2 round matches. I can't play too much snooker in one time. That's a little bit of a poor shot then. Again, being a little bit weak with the cue ball, not allowing it to travel, not putting the power behind it for it to travel. And that does give Tom Ford a potential opportunity. But he's missed that red. That was a little bit of a shocker, if I say so myself. We might go for the plant here. Just aware of that cushion affecting the red. It's not particularly straightforward, this plant. I'm not great at plants anyway, and I certainly don't want this to miss. As you can see, if we just played it straight, like we're planning to, it's going to go straight into the cushion. I don't know if I want to take that risk. But unfortunately, again, if we could get that, if we get to that red on the cushion, it would make things a little bit easier. I'm going to play this. I'm just going to play half ball, and then surely it's going to end up somewhere that represents the resembles the pocket. Just tap it half ball, and surely that will lead to it going in. And there we go. Good plant there. We did move the pink and the black, so that was a good shot. Again, you got to have belief sometimes. Just play with a little bit of logic. You know, I'm not the best at plants, but I think we played with played sensibly there. This has got to be a careful shot because this is very precise position, and we've been way off in our shot. In fact, the blue might not even make it. And this is the story of the match so far. We've been far too soft with the cue ball. Not played with nearly enough power.
Well, he's taking it on to the left corner.
But that's a poor green. That's a poor green, that is. Really is. You can see what he was trying to do in terms of position. But he's given us another starter here. And I'm not going to moan at that whatsoever. Hopefully just come back off the cushion for the black. But obviously we can't get to the black. So, no, I think we can actually. Again, that's probably the benefit of checking before you play the shot. No, we can't get to the black. But we've got a contingency plan. It's not the best shot from us, I will admit. Again, it's just worth checking every time. We didn't check there, so silly really that I didn't use my advice from before, because it would have been quite handy. We're in a bit of a spot of bother here, aren't we? I think, folks, it might be time for a safety. I don't particularly want to take the risk. So just try and get it behind the brown. Nice and soft, behind the brown. And I don't think we'll leave anything on. I just think if we pop one of the colours and there's not much chance of playing the red, it might make it a little bit more of an awkward safety shot. But here we've just got to play it up to the bulk, and that will certainly do. Just leaves that one red on the cushion. You've got to be pretty brave to try and put that in. I think he's just playing a safety on this as he is. And where's that cue ball? Oh, it's just okay for him. As you can see, he leaves a little bit of an easier shot here. I know that it was a good shot, but it definitely was a good shot by Tom Ford. We need to get our shots more accurate, by the way. That's a little bit worrying, the fact that we've been far too soft again now. I mean, we set it at 37%, but didn't hit it till 33%. And this does leave a red on. And he will get the pot on this time. And it's the first chance for Tom Ford in this match. And it does beg the question that where are all these centuries? So you've got to be on your A game all the time. Because players like Tom Ford will take advantage. Will punish you. I think it's fair to say that in both of those qualifying matches in quotation marks, that we didn't make our centuries until the second and third frame in the second match, and I think obviously we didn't make a century in the match against Sanderson Lamb, but we made 2 against Luning, and that was a particularly good match. Just got into focus, the balls were playing for us. Of course, it does help the fact that sometimes I mean, that's a shocking shot that is from Tom Ford. Tried to get the snooker behind the yellow. I mean, at least he hit it, unlike some when we tried to play that in our match against who was it now? I can't remember. It was in the Grand Prix, but I can't remember who it was that we lost against. That's ridiculous. I can't remember. Was it Xiao Gudong? I think it was. I can't remember now. You guys probably remember more than me. But yeah, that was a shocking shot by Tom Ford, and this just let us back in. I was fearing, he might make a clearance from there, or at least enough of a clearance to, or enough for a break rather, to win the frame. But I think the onus is on us now to wake up a bit. We've been a little bit poor, a little bit sloppy so far. And I think the way the Reds are positioned now, it's a good chance to get into the game. Get everything sorted, get comfortable with the balls again, get comfortable with everything, and get into the match and win the first frame. These 2 Reds are a little bit awkward. I'm not a great fan, particularly because you've got these 2 Reds up the pardon me, sorry. There's 2 Reds up the table as well. There's not much of a backup plan if this goes wrong, but I suppose if we just play with a little bit of side, again, I'm not a big fan of side, but I think in a fairly straight shot like this, there's not much that can go wrong, and that is absolutely fine. And that's quite comfortable again, obviously, to play for the black. So we're getting into this again. Just play. I mean, these combination of 2 reds and 2 blacks should be fairly simple now, because it's just a case of playing that red as we have there, playing the black, getting back to a similar position, playing the red again. Though it is fair to say that we've gone a little bit skew-if in terms of our position. But that's much better. You could see that we tried to play it with 29.5. 29.4 was the power. I'm not going to moan about that.
24. Well, it goes. Half a chance here.
Have to play that with some power to get on the black.
Really impressive cueing.
Might experiment with the blue here. If it had been a little bit straighter on the black, it would have been ideal just to screw back to here and get a fairly simple red. But it's not worked out like that, unfortunately. So, but even if we play the blue, I suppose it's not a great prospect. So I think we just play the black and see what happens with our screw. Shouldn't be a too bad position, as long as we don't pop this cue ball.
32.
And that'll do. That's certainly a decent position. Not going to have any qualms about that. And this should be a decent enough break to win this first frame now. As long as we pop the red. This is a crucial shot. Probably the most difficult, unless we really butcher something up of any shot we've got to play in this frame now to win it. And as you see, that's a good red. Good shot.
Well, that's right out of the top drawer.
And that effectively shuts out his opponent in this frame.
Well, you heard what they said. Or you heard what Fold said, I suppose. That effectively shuts out Tom Ford. With 42 ahead, with 35 remaining even, so I think it might just be time for a good safety. Get behind the yellow, and I would guess he might come back to the table. I mean, we haven't got the snooker there.
Robertson.
He might come back to the table and might just concede. And he does come back to the table. See what he plays here. If he gets in a spot of bother. No, he hasn't really. Might as well just give this a whack. I know it's not going to go in. That's not the intention. Go on, you know you want to. Oh, not quite. Not quite. But I mean, he's not got much choice here unless he just taps into it and gets it touching ball. But he's actually potted the red. And let's see what he plays here. Well, this is the silly thing about the AI. He'll probably play a snooker here when obviously, well, you know, there's only 27 left on the table now. So, you know, it does seem a little bit silly to play a snooker because you are effectively giving up 7 points to your opponent. You know, it'd have been better potting the colour and then getting a snooker for the yellow. But we're just going to tap that. There was no point potting it, and he definitely won't come back to the table now. And after a little bit of a scrappy frame, that little break that we had on the red and the black, that led to us winning the frame. Needs to be a little bit more clean cut here, though, I would say. Need to improve our play a little bit, which I think from playing the first frame, getting used to things again, getting back on the table, getting the practice in, I think we should be okay. Oh, that's poor. He's missed that. He's missed the red. Just didn't hit anything there. Completely misjudged it. Went for that one red that was loose from the pack. I'm going to force him to retake that. I don't really see the point of him playing it from there. I can imagine he will hit the red this time unless he misjudges it again. He has hit the red this time. Let's hope he doesn't get the snooker or else we'll feel really stupid. And, well, there you go. He's done well. That's certainly not a bad recovery shot, is it? Goodness me.
He doesn't want to play this with too much pace.
We're going to hit the reds. Yeah, we are. That's not a bad shot at all. That's a good recovery from that snooker.
Very well judged shot there.
We're not usually a man who gets out snookers, but that is about as comfortable as you can imagine. But where's this cue ball going? Well, that's poor.
In goes the cue ball. Foul.
That is poor.
So, after the foul, what's he going to do?
We'll play on here.
He's chosen to play on here.
Play a similar shot to the break-off. And that was probably a little bit unwise. Leaves a few chances here. That was very much unwise. Silly shot there. Should have just got him to play because he might have got us into a snooker, but it was unlikely and we'd have just played another safety, but that was a little bit silly. Knowing that it wasn't going to work like a break-off, because obviously the balls aren't set up like that. That was a little bit of silly play there. A little bit naive, more than anything. Tom Ford's got his first chance of this frame. And he got 15 points last time out. Can he get more than that this time?
12.
It'll certainly be 20, I would guess. No, it's not. He's tried to play into the reds.
13.
And he's not done too bad there. But he's just going for the green, which he's got. And that's not too bad, to be fair.
16.
This could be a little bit awkward now, unless that edge red goes. Blimey, that's a tongue twister, edge red. But that's more like it. That's a far better split. Still got to get that yellow though, which he has.
They don't come much better than that.
And I'd say that he could be on for a frame-winning break here, given the
19.
position of the reds, and he might bring this back to level pegging.
20.
But ultimately, we've lost our last 2 televised matches on the channel. So let's hope it's not made free today, shall we? I don't think it should be. Just got to make sure we don't play too many more sloppy shots like we did before.
He lost control of the cue.
But not a frame-winning break. He did lose control of the cue ball, and he's just trying to get this back up to bulk now.
Tom Ford, 27.
And he has failed a little bit in his ambition to keep this safe. But I think he should just be okay. Obviously, we can take a risk here, which I think we probably will. I do fancy this red.
Well, it goes. Half a chance.
And it was well fancied, that red, for a reason. It was a very nice pot. And now it's us, not Tom Ford, with the advantage to potentially get 2-0 up. And he'd be kicking himself there. Because really, the original advantage was his doing. Obviously, getting the good split on the reds. We've just opened them up even more. So, as I've said, he will definitely be kicking himself. No question about that. But that's not our worry. Our worry is just cleaning up here. That's all we've got to worry about. Not how Tom Ford's feeling. We've got to worry about ourselves. Nicely on the black though there. Fairly straight shot, which just allows for a little bit more comfort in queuing.
Left him a little awkward there.
No, I don't think so.
14.
I'm just planning to follow through on this red and play for the blue. If we were to play for the black, yes, it would have been awkward, but the shot we were playing, there was no awkwardness and no worry about needing to be on the cushion or not, so I'm happy with that. Would have been better being the other side of the blue, though, but obviously with those sort of shots, you never want to take the risk of playing it too hard, or else it might just go in off. Cue ball, so you don't want to risk that.
looking to pop this into the right corner.
Good pot.
That's a top shot.
Apply for the black and then follow through.
It's a bit awkward here.
It is a bit awkward, I do agree. It's not the best shot we could have played. Just got to hope we got the luck of the snooker gods with this shot. Which we have. That's certainly playable. A little bit awkward, but playable. This red go? Yep, there is a gap. Seems more sensible than playing the more awkward red, which would be this one. That we just hovered over. Didn't want to hover over it too much. I mean, we'd already got the angle on that red. But just to show you guys, I wanted to show you guys which red I meant.
He's looking at the pot.
Awkward though these are into middle pocket, but that trajectory looks absolutely bob on, which it is.
Down it goes.
Brimming with confidence and on a bit of a roll at the moment.
29.
If we just keep playing like this, focus on one red at I can get my words out. One red at a time, and we should be okay to get 2-0 up. Which leaves Tom Ford, as we've known in the past, when we've been on the other side, leaves Tom Ford a tricky task of winning 3 frames in a row to keep his spot in the Welsh Open.
He really looks in fine form at the moment.
2 reds on the cushion are going to be a little bit of an issue. Let's focus on the 2 reds we can get first off, shall we?
44.
That's not the best shot in the world. Ultimately, it's because of the power. We set it up fine, but if we don't play it at the right power, then surprise, there's not going to be the correct amount of spin. To be fair, whatever we play here, we're going to struggle to get a pot. So, I'm going to go a little bit and improvise. Just try and get right behind this red and then cut it into the middle pocket. But as I've hinted at, because the reds aren't massively open, if we miss something, it shouldn't really lead to too much. There's just a very fine cut on this red.
He just wants this to drop gently into the pocket.
That's a good pot. We'll take that.
No problems with the rest there.
So 32 ahead. Unfortunately, we can't really do it in this break. I'm going to play the black. It's a no-risk shot.
Well, he's looking at
And then probably just play a safety. If this black goes in, which it does.
That hasn't really worked out at all.
We weren't planning to be on the red, to be honest.
58.
But this is a little bit awkward in reflection. Might as well try a plant. Which hasn't come off.
Neil Robertson.
But it's a little bit awkward. Again, we were nearly over the winning line. And luckily, he's not gone for a potting chance there, because I did think after playing that shot, I thought, oh, that could be a little bit of a risk, thinking about it. But 43 left on the table. We're 39 ahead. So nearly there. Just a case of either getting another pot or forcing the foul. And I'll tell you something, there's no chance Tom Ford's going to get any sort of pot from there, unless he plays this very, 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 very thin. But hopefully he doesn't get the better of us in the safety department, or else we could have a problem. That's a good shot, you know. That is a good shot.
So he's looking to play safe again. This is fascinating.
So as you can see, that red will be open, and we've not hit that hard enough, and it is open. So he's done very well there to keep that open. And to be fair to him, this could be a chance. A little bit naive from us, really. Again, we should have got over the winning line, but not on the black. He'll have to play the pink, and he's played the pink well.
7.
So he's 32 behind, 35 remaining. And he's, to be fair, he's potted the red. And he'll need everything up to the black. But if he goes and clears up here, it will be 1 each. And that will have to be said as opportunity missed for us. And a little bit naive.
17. 20.
That brown go? Yeah, it must do. No, it doesn't. Well,
Unforced error.
if I was naive, I'll tell you something, Tom Ford was definitely naive.
Tom Ford.
Even I could see not playing that he definitely wasn't in for the ball, but nevertheless,
No way back into this frame.
it's not my problem. 23 is the gap. And there's 18 left on the table. Hence why we've just played a bit of a random shot there. He might come back, try and get the snooker, because it's not all over yet. No, he will try and get it.
Neil Robertson, 4.
And he has, to be fair to him. So we should just really mop that up when we could, to be honest. Because we have got a problem now, because you know what I'm like. I can't get ahead of these very well.
If he underhits this, he could be in trouble.
No, we got ahead of it. And luckily we moved that pink. So unless he plays the blue and screws back to get behind one of these balls.
The intention is to get the white behind the black here.
Which he has. But it's just a case of getting out with a little bit of a swerve, I would say. That's it. So we even have to play with any side here. That's my question. If I can, we'd avoid it. But he's just about got it. We just need to play with a tad, a little twinge of side. A little bit of angle, of course. And there you go. It's got to be right, though. It's got to be the right angle. And the right pace. And it wasn't the right pace, to be fair, but we've still pulled off the escape. And if he's going to get us into a snooker, it's going to have to be a pretty powerful shot. Given the distance between blue, pink and black.
He's looking to get the cue ball safe and tight to the cushion here.
Again, he's got to play a very similar shot here. Blue's back up the table. There is a chance he could get us in a snooker and we could lose this frame, but we've got it at 2 already. So I hope he doesn't put us another one. And that touch on the blue is fatal. I thought that blue was going to go in there. We've moved the black as well, that's quite crucial. So it's not a natural snooker he can get us in now. Well, I understand him for playing on. Completely do. Misjudged that he has.
He'll be playing for the snooker here.
And ultimately, it's just going through the motions now, I think. He might continue to come back, and I wouldn't blame him for it. But, yeah, ultimately, it does seem a little bit of a lost cause now. Might as well go for the pot here. If we do get the pot here, it'll definitely be all over. Just need to avoid a foul, really. Not quite the pot. Again, this drama continues. If that had run a little bit further on, we'd have got the snooker. But, ho-hum. Again, we need to avoid being put in a snooker ourselves, really. That will not end well. Go on, blue. Travel, travel, travel. Not quite. Decent shot, though.
If he gets this one right, it'll be a tester to get out of.
Yeah, real tester. We're just trying to play the ball around the table to avoid him getting a snooker, really.
He'll be disappointed with that.
No, I'm not disappointed. Really not. I just hope he doesn't get lucky with one of these shots, and thank God he hasn't. So let's just get this over with, shall we? Pot the blue, and then there's definitely no chance of him coming back to the table. And to be fair, I've got no problem with him fighting for that. That's exactly what I'd have done. I'd probably give up a little bit easier, because you know what I'm like, I do tend to give up a little bit, but, you know, fair play to him. He tried. He got us in a few snookers. We escaped, played a poor shot, let us on the blue, and with blue, pink and black, we get the 18 points needed, and we are now, albeit a little bit after a tricky fight, we're 2 frames to the good.
And that is the frame.
And just need one more, and we're into the last 16.
Well, this lead is starting to grow now. Thank you. The third frame.
So no centuries, no fancy breaks just yet. But really in these matches, does it matter? In these matches? God, my grammar's terrible.
That's a loose shot.
And we're just going to play completely all out there. 2 for the price of 1, if you notice there. 2 reds went in. And that is a good split. I was talking about centuries and that before. This could be a chance, but we've got a little bit of a tricky shot to overcome now if we want to get anywhere near that. Might be time to duck and dive.
I think he's attempting to get the white tucked in behind the yellow.
That didn't work. And now he's got a chance, to be fair, if he pots this red. But he's missed it, luckily for us. And that paid dividends. Although the shot didn't go as well as I planned it to, it did pay dividends because it's a little bit of an easier shot now. Although, albeit, it's a little bit of an awkward one still. Down the table into this pocket.
Red to the corner here.
No, not quite. Well, that gives Tom potential first blood now. Our only blessing is that these reds can seem to block each other. But he's got that chance and he's missed that. Well, not going to say anything until all the balls stop moving, because the amount of balls are on the table, they can cannon into each other and one can end up going in. But that's not the case there, unfortunately, for Tom. And again, it's our chance here. So, sloppy from both players, but tricky long pots, and we've missed both. The two of us, so that was a good long pot, by the way. Just got to get into our game now. One more break, and we're through to the last 16. That's all we've got to tell ourselves. A challenging match against Tom.
5.
And it's not all over yet, of course. Certainly not all over yet.
6.
Can't say I agree. We nil folds there. I mean, you could say a touch, fair enough.
12.
We probably lost the cue ball even more in that shot, to be honest. But that is a nice chance. That red that we can just get to here. It's got to go, though. And it does. Nice shot. Where's the cue ball going? It's okay. We'll take that.
13.
But what about potting chances on a colour from here? I don't think we've got any, unfortunately. Blue and green are tied up with one another. Got to play this very precisely here. And that might be a little bit too slow. And it is. That's what it was like in the first frame. We were too slow with the cue ball, too soft. But Tom Ford gets his third chance and misses again. His long potting game has not been good today. So he's let us in again. Again, not our best snooker, not quite so slick in this frame, but because Tom's not playing his best either, then it does give us a chance. And this needs to be the chance where we do punish him. Because I don't know how many more chances he's going to give us. Green should go here, no problems, I think. Shouldn't hit the blue on the way through.
He's looking to pop this into the right corner.
Yep, no problems there.
That could be better.
Could be better, agreed. I think I'd rather play the long pot here, you know. Which we are going to attempt. Tricky one, though. No problem with that. But where's the black going? Oh, we get away with it. That's fine.
What can he do here?
That's quite a neat shot we've set up on the black, actually. Couldn't be straighter.
Just wants to sink this into the left corner pocket.
Get that back on its spot immediately. And then we can start playing around the black.
That's a wonderful, wonderful.
And if you can get into that red, black rhythm, then it shouldn't be too long before you can get the match all over and done with. But as you can see, there's a problem there because the red does block the black. I don't think it does if you come round this side. Yep, there's a gap there. Well, I suppose it might be wise to shift that red out of the way and hope that we can get on the black. Oh, that's horrible. That's a shame.
13.
That's an awkward one. That's a shame. Try and play this behind the black. Not get a snooker as such, but make it very tricky. If we play that too soft again and don't hit the black. Yep, we do. We're fine.
13.
Don't think he's going to get a pot here. He might do. He's gone for a safety, though. And it's not too bad of a one, to be fair. You can't argue too much with that. This needs to have the legs, which it seems it has. It does leave that red available though, but as we know, his long pots have not been great so far. Be a good time for him to change that. But no, he's just going for the safety. Hits the wrong red, I think, there. Might be wrong. But, ooh. Just leave that up the table. I'm not going to worry about that. Don't want to make ourselves an idiot by playing an unforced error. Or a potential unforced error, rather. Nice and soft on the red. Because we don't have to risk about getting it off any cushion. That's a nice pot. Need to move that red, really.
This should be pretty straightforward.
And that'll do. That leaves the other red on, funnily enough. I wasn't gambling on that, but no, it's a good shot. But, the black doesn't go. The black's really been the forward in our side today. Black's not been our friend. Well, just try and play this with a bit of power. Get back down the table.
And he's missed it.
Does help if you pot it, though. And this has been really poor from us. Really poor.
Neil Robertson, 9.
And it gives another chance to Tom. And as I keep saying, if he's going to take a chance, he's got to take it now. Because we've missed a few shots that we weren't expected to miss. It's got to be his chance to get back in the frame. It's not the easiest chances with those two balls up bulk. But again, he's a top 32 player. I'm sure he can find a way to do this.
8.
I think in reflection, he deserves one frame just for how poorly we've played. You know, we don't really deserve, unless he makes another shoddy break here. I don't think we deserve to win this by 3 frames to 0. We've not been that clean today. Let's see what happens. Still plenty of time to go in this frame. The 2 crucial reds will be the ones up bulk. This will be a mere formality, I would say. Play the red, either screw back for the pink or just play on through for the black. And then it makes it a little bit awkward with these other reds. But actually, he's going to go up bulk. Don't blame him. Gives us a little bit more control on these reds. Just going to go for the yellow. Potted the yellow. Ooh. Good shot. For the red next to the green. It's all in close proximity here, so he's got to be very precise with his position. And to be fair, he's done well. He has done well. Points aren't the best up there. The yellow and the green he's potted so far. You won't be too fussed about that though, because all the balls will win in the frame. So he's going for the blue here. So with 27 remaining,
29.
He's 4 behind. Very similar to... Was it the last frame or the first frame? I mean, it must have been the last frame, wasn't it, when he got the snooker? He has a potential chance here. And I don't think he's going to make the same mistake this time. Although, that's a little bit of an error. Brown to blue's the shot that's got to be perfect, but that is a very clean shot into the corner pocket. I can tell you now, no professional will make a mistake with that pink. And Tom Ford does force another frame. As I've said, he does deserve the 1, and maybe this just might give us a kick up the backside. And with a break of 56, Tom Ford takes one back and makes sure we don't do it in 3 straight frames.
And the frame, Tom Ford.
That is the frame.
So, our break off again.
Neil Robertson to break.
Need to pick up our game. Can't get to sleep now because if Tom Ford brings another one back, our lovely 2-frame advantage will be forced into a decider. And we certainly don't want that.
This is a tricky safety.
Just Going through the motions with safety here. Until there's a chance that represents itself. It's not like the last frame where we can just bust the reds open. The AI do like to play a little bit thicker than we do. I like to play much of a thinner break. But as you can see here, once again, with the shot he's played, it just does give us a chance to have a little bit of a start.
Not what he intended at all. He'll be annoyed with that.
But that's not what we intended. Again, I was just about to say, to be honest, that it makes you feel when you do play those shots that potentially they're setting you up for failure. You know, they force you to have a feeler with a red because they know that it's going to be awkward to get on another one. That's not the worst safety in the world.
Neil Robertson, 1.
But ultimately, it has to be said, it was a little bit of an oversight there to whack the red in. I mean, if we're going to whack the red in, we really need to whack it. Playing that at 58% wasn't going to do anything. But interesting shot here. Very interesting. And, well, he's left a chance. It's going to be very tricky with 14 reds on the table. All split open not to leave a chance.
Brilliant. Simply brilliant.
Which is why taking a pot on is sometimes the best course of action. And if we don't win from this position, I mean, it's a little bit awkward being the wrong side of the blue. Could be the new Pink Floyd album, the wrong side of the blue. Doesn't really have the same swing to it as it. Hasn't really got the same ring to it as Dark Side of the Moon. Anyway, God, I love to talk rubbish, don't I? This is really a whacking shot. Make sure you get it out of there. And as you can see, even at 84%, because it cannoned into 2 reds and slowed it down massively, we've only just got out of there. If we'd applied that at sort of 60%, we wouldn't have got out of there.
He's playing for the right corner here. That's an excellent pot.
He's cueing extremely well here.
13.
Well, pink is on the black spot.
Pace is key.
And we're going to play through for that pink. Or follow through for that pink, I suppose is the correct technical term.
14.
But this should be a great chance. You have to question what Tom Ford was thinking by playing a safety, because when there's 14 reds on the table, as I've just said, it's bloody tricky to keep every single red safe, unless you obviously get into a snooker. You get the player into a snooker, then of course the reds are safe, but you know, a bit of an oversight from Tom to think that we weren't going to get a chance. And it's not really been Tom Ford's day, to be brutally honest, but this is a bit of a tricky shot. I'm just going to hit and hope here. Yeah, that'll do.
27.
That'll certainly do. As long as we keep it clean, keep focused,
28.
we should do it in this break. And it always happens when you're, you know, on the good colours and potting well and getting to a rhythm. The 50 breaks, the 60 breaks, the fame winning breaks seem so much quicker. Whereas if you're not, you think, oh God, I've only made a break of 20. It feels like I've been here forever. But if you get into a rhythm, like I'd say we are at the moment, not a brilliant rhythm because this is still a little bit awkward. If you can get into a rhythm, the frames go so quickly. But I'm confident here that keep our strength and keep our focus for a few more shots, and we should be through. Trying to check every shot here. Again, don't want to play anything silly, because the table's not completely open, so if our first plan of a shot doesn't work, then, I mean, if that had gone wrong, as you can see, we'd have had a tight shot on anything else.
Pace is very important.
Black's gone up the table, though, now. That's a little bit of a crucial one. Blue it is, I think.
He's an expert long potter and he's taking this on.
Good pot. That was a crucial pot.
Another
Really
20
was.
mark, crunching long pot.
48.
He's looking to pop this into the left corner pocket.
We're nearly there now.
That's a beauty.
He's playing very well here.
49.
Just focus on the reds we can get to. You know, the ones that are tied up we'll deal with later. But every single ball brings us closer to a victory in this match. A victory which we will deserve. Not been the cleanest, but as long as you win the 3 frames sometimes, or how many frames it is, I'm not particularly bothered. It's great to do it in style like we did in the qualifiers. I keep saying the qualifiers. I don't mean the qualifiers, but I always treat them as the qualifiers because they're not on camera. So there's no offence there meant for Looning or Sanderson Lamb. Pink will go back on its spot now, which might be a little bit of an oversight from us. We'll have to see. No, we're quite alright.
Just the red required.
You heard what he said, just the red needed, and it's there.
It goes.
That effectively removes any chance of a comeback in this match.
And if we can make a good break here, you know, maybe a century. Then
Now,
it just does confirm that we haven't done this through sloppy break builds. And of course it doesn't matter how you win a match, as I've just said. But if you win it in style sometimes, with a good break here, it would increase my confidence quite a bit, because I'd say we've gone backwards a little bit today. I know you can't make a century in every frame, I get that. But ultimately, you've got to play well, and I think it's more down to Tom Ford's lack of
69.
potting ability today, rather than our good match play that has led to us winning this match. But this is awkward because they're not straight on the red, so we have to hit and hope here.
he's lining this up into the right middle pocket.
Go on, hit off the green. Give us a half chance on the red.
75.
Doesn't really matter if it goes in or not, because if not, Tom Ford's not going to come back to the table.
This is a challenging shot.
Not a single pot registered for Tom today in this frame. It's a good pot. It's a good pot, that will do.
Excellent recovery shot.
That will certainly do. But unfortunately, there's no real way of getting on these reds, so play the pink. And just try and maybe play a double on one of these reds. I'm not sure if we can pot the pink, that is. Might be more wise to probably put it into the middle pocket.
He's lining this up into the left centre pocket.
Good pot. And then we're just going to have to hit and hope with these reds. Who knows, one of them might go in.
That's a poor shot.
82.
Don't look like it, does it? I don't think any of these have got the legs. But with a break of 82, our best break of the match and the highest break of the match overall,
Neil Robertson.
it's been a little bit of a sloppy one today. But all that matters is that we've beaten Tom Ford by 3 frames to 1.
And that win puts him
And we're through to the next round. Through to the last 16 of the Welsh Open. As you can see, the points clearly distributed in a way that we've won the game solidly. No points in that frame for Tom. That was just the sort of frame we needed just to prove ourselves. And we move into episode 99 of the series. How exciting. Episode 30 of this season. With a round 4 match against Mark Selby. Well, they don't come too much harder than that, do they? They don't come too much harder than that in the last 16. That is a real shock. But a match I'm relishing, and if we can beat Mark Selby at the round of 16 stage, it would really cement our status as being a player who could go place in this tournament. Wow, that is a real shock, that draw. But a match I'm looking forward to, and that will be the match that comes on Monday. So if you're looking forward to that, please make sure to leave a like. Please make sure to leave a like down below. Comment about my Australian accent and anything else that you think might be worth it. And subscribe for regular Snooker 19 content. But thank you very much for your company today, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye for now.